Hello, and welcome to Season 3, Race 15 of my F1 23 My Team Career Mode with Rockstar Energy Racing. And we are here in Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. First race recording after the 1-2 finish in real life in Australia. Race won by Carlos Sainz. And in this career mode, Max Verstappen continues his recent run of form as of late. He has qualified on the pole, just ahead of Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris. Really a throwback to the, I guess you could say, the usual order of things, where you have Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes all in the top six. And then you have myself and Jamie Chadwick, 7th and ninth, mixed in with the McLarens in 8th and 10th. Let's take a look at the rest of the starting grid. And a quick reminder of the championship standings on the constructor side. Mercedes still leads the way. They are 61 points ahead of our team. And on the driver's side, I lead by 49 points over George Russell, 52 over Leclerc, and 67 over Lando Norris. And of course, Verstappen has been the big mover for so much of the season. He's been outside the top 10 in points. But off of the back of 2 straight wins, he has catapulted himself into 6th place. And if he continues this run of form, he could, not out of the question for him to get well inside the top 5, but I guess we'll see how things go there. We'll see how things go in this race, because this race is going to be the exact opposite in terms of the weather that we experienced during this qualifying session. It is going to be raining. I have no idea if it's going to be full wet conditions or if it's going to be intermediates, which will obviously be a little bit easier to traverse. But yeah, it's going to be a. I think there was rain in the race. One of the Monza races I did already, I think there was rain either in season 1 or season. I think it was season 2 there was rain. So definitely not the first time in this career mode I've dealt with rain at Monza. But there you go. So, we will go to the R&D. We have an ultimate upgrade that just came in on the chassis. There's another one on its way. And we'll see what we can get here. Well, I guess we'll go with what's available on the engine side. So, upgrade will come in after the Japanese Grand Prix. But something's better than nothing, so we'll take that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, without further ado, let's dive straight into what will be a wet Italian Grand Prix in Monza.
A difficult race awaits these drivers here in Monza. But glory awaits too, at the Italian Grand Prix. With the rain coming down here at the 3.6-mile Monza circuit, the low drag setups preferred by most teams could cause them some problems in today's Grand Prix. So watch out for cars struggling for grip around the Curva Michele Alboreto. That's the Parabolica to you and me, the last and most demanding of this track's 11 corners. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Perez, Russell, Sainz, Golden Boy, Oscar Piastri, Chadwick, Tsunoda, Albon, Stroll, Gasly, Ocon, Drugovich, Magnussen, Bottas, Deruvela, Hulkenberg, De Vries, Joe, and Logan Sargent. And now it's time to head down to the track. Well, it's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are three big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. And judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
Here we go then, the formation lap is underway. These are wet conditions here today. Each driver will no doubt be mindful of the wet surface as they prepare to race around the track. As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
World Championship winners. Packed grandstands here today with thousands in attendance, hoping to see their favourite drivers battle it out on track.
Okay, focus. We need to stay on form. Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy. We're increasing our gap on the car behind by around a second a lap. Good job, that was the fastest lap of the race so far. this rain could be with us for a while. Light rain conditions for the foreseeable future. Right, we need to get past here. Use overtake, use overtake. Great work, you're catching the car ahead by around 5/10 a lap. Gap to your teammate behind is 11.0 seconds. Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place. Use your overtake button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 3.3 seconds. We're expecting you in around 2 laps and we'll put you onto the intermediate tyres. Okay, clear. Lapping around a second faster than the car ahead. Keep this up. Okay, we've got a full course caution. The safety car's out. Keep an eye on the delta. We need to keep it positive to avoid a penalty. Slow down. Right, Jamie's coming in for a stop. There's a new strategy available on the MFD. Understood, copy that. Understood, stopping this lap. Confirming that we're fitting intermediate tyres. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
is then victory in the Italian Grand Prix, an historic race and an achievement they can be immensely proud of. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. Let's have a quick look at how the drivers' standings have changed. Well, it wasn't the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
Let's move on to the constructors. No change in the top spot then, but with today's points, their hold on that lead is getting weaker. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend for them as they fight their way towards the top. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
And that was the Italian Grand Prix. Fortunately, it was another short race on my end. Second time this season we've dropped out due to a mechanical failure. It's very strange. I was having my battle for the lead with Max Verstappen, closing in on pit stops, and then the safety car came out for an incident that I'll get to in a second with Albon at the final corner, and I do my pit stop. We're under the safety car, and then all of I notice, at the start of the third sector, because we were, Verstappen and I were a ways ahead of, third, fourth, fifth, and so on. And I noticed that Verstappen was all by himself, and then I was like, where am I? And then I see myself dropping down the running order, and then it said I was out due to mechanical failure. So that sort of came out of nowhere. I want to go back and see what the heck happened with Albon. Obviously he spun, but I want to try and see what happened specifically. So do a rewind here, because this is what brought the safety car. Right before this, we actually had Lando Norris losing an engine. But that did not bring out a safety car, but this did, as he spun at as Albon spun at the final corner. Looks like it was just all by himself as the tree sort of obscures the view. Just going forward with Albon here. He just spins and sort of blocks my teammate, Jamie Chadwick. But she didn't really lose that much time. In fact, she actually came back to score points. There you go. That's what brought out the safety car. Albon didn't really recover from that at all. He ended up finishing 12th. Despite the contact with Albon, my teammate Jamie Chadwick did score some points. And I think the big star of the race is really Yuki Tsunoda. Was running or started 10th, ended up finishing 4th, just outside the podium. So a great result for Tsunoda there. And yeah, not much else to say because I was running the race and then I dropped out. And it was in a situation where because it happened under the safety car, it's not like I could have done that trick where I could rewind and sort of delay the engine failure for a little bit. Couldn't do that since it happened under the safety car. It was just that was it. Take a look at the championship standings. Constructors first. With that result, we've fallen behind for sure. Ferrari taking a more firm second place to Mercedes, even though, of course, with Russell, or not Russell, but Norris dropping out, they didn't have a great race either. And the driver standings close up a little bit, though still a race ahead. Russell and Leclerc are actually tied for second at 189 points. And really, they've sort of separated themselves as the main contenders. Lando Norris, with that engine failure, drops down the running. No, he doesn't drop down the running order, but falls further behind. He's 67 points out of the lead. Alexander Albon, not a great race for him. He doesn't go anywhere because he didn't score any points. And Max Verstappen further solidifies himself in 6th. Burying the lead here. 3rd straight victory for Max Verstappen as he sort of reinserts himself into the mix here. Still a ways back, but if he continues that form, he could definitely get in, deep inside the top 5, as I already mentioned. So yeah, that was the Italian Grand Prix. Not a welcome DNF. I'll have to take a look and see what exactly the failure was on the car. Unfortunately, did not score enough points. Chadwick could finish a position or two higher. He would have gotten that, but ended up not being the case. I should mention that I did, before the weekend, I did purchase an upgrade for the aerodynamics department that will take it to level 3. Trying to get everything up to level 3 at this point. I think the only one that I need to get up to level 3 yet is the durability department.
Our running costs are significantly less than the income we're pulling in. I suggest we start looking for opportunities to spend that profit margin.
Interesting. So it was another MGU-H failure. This is the second MGU-H failure I've suffered. Normally, it's a different part, but had the same problem twice on the same engine component. That's interesting. I think that's definitely a first for me. I've never had in the same season one specific component on the engine failed twice. That's never happened before. So that's actually kind of interesting. We have a marketing department. I have a feeling I know what this is. Well, I guess George is one of my championship rivals, so I'll go with George.
Not an easy decision, but you handled it well. Thanks.
Alright, sponsor renewal. Take care of that. Alright! That's pretty much it this time around. Thank you for watching the Italian Grand Prix, albeit an abbreviated version, and I will see you next time for the Singapore Grand Prix.